Before I begin the video, I just want to flag, as always, that I am not a qualified financial advisor and nothing I say should be considered as financial advice. Hello, I'm the Jolly Saver, and in this video I'm going to be talking about savings pots. So if you've been following my other videos, you'll be aware that I've been finding budgeting really hard over the past few months, and I've been overspending and dipping into my emergency fund. Now, going forward, I don't want that to be the case. I just want to be dipping into my emergency fund only when it's emergencies and not using that money to pay for sort of luxuries that I haven't budgeted for in my monthly budget. So a few people commented in previous videos and suggested I consider doing savings pots or sinking funds. You know, there's different terms that you can use for it, but the idea is that you instead of spending money just from kind of one pot of money, you give each pound a job and you put it towards different savings goals or spending pots, I should say. So what I'm going to do in this video is I've set up some of those pots, I've started contributing to some of them, and I just want to talk through each of the pots, what my thoughts behind them are, and yeah, just open up the discussion. So if you've got any thoughts on it about, you know, how I can make things easier going forward, or if you follow a similar method, then do comment down below. So here it is. So I will say I'm not going to talk about the bank that I use, but the account that I have allows me to create these pots in my app, so it's really easy to sort of move money around. So these are all the ones that I've created so far. So I've got, let's have a look, 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now, I did have more than this to begin with, but I did reduce them down, and I was a bit I was being too specific originally, whereas actually someone gave us an idea of just grouping similar things under the same banner. So I'll just start with the first two. So these ones are both, so shopping and groceries are both to do with my weekly food shopping and trips to the supermarket. So the reason I've got two is that with my bank that I use, you can connect a card to one of your savings pots. So this is the one, and I've called it shopping, but you're only able to have a maximum of £200 in that pot with the card. So what I've done is I've got basically two pots which are the same thing. So the idea would be I'd have £200 here, and then any extra would be in my overall groceries pot, and I would move money from my groceries pot to my shopping pot. My next pot is metro travel. So I live in the northeast, and I use the metro, which is public transport, quite a bit. So I put some money aside. Well, I'm going to be putting some money aside for this. I think really I probably want £40 a month. It's probably the maximum I want to spend on metro travel. So if I put £40 a month across, the idea would be with these savings pots is that every time I spend from my sort of main account, every time I spend money for metro travel, I'd move the money across from the metro travel pot into my main account to pay for that thing. So it sounds complicated, but it's not actually that complicated. The second thing I was going to mention as well is just I've got meals out and takeaways. So me and my partner like to spend money on takeaways and eating out every month, but actually it's quite hard to keep a track of how much we are actually spending there. So realistically, we probably want to be spending, well, I want to be spending no more than £100 on meals out at takeaways a month. I mean, even that's quite generous. So yeah, I'll put £100 into there. Holidays. So I've got 3 ones to do with holidays. The first is just holidays for my summer holidays. So I haven't decided we haven't decided where we're going yet in the summer, but we want to go somewhere, whether that be UK or abroad. So I've got a holiday savings space for whatever trip we decide to do, but then I've got some longer term savings goals. So me and my partner really want to go to Japan in the next couple of years. So I want to go to Tokyo and maybe do a trip around parts of Japan. And the other thing we want to do is go to Universal and Disneyland in Florida. So these two will both independently cost a few grand. So I want to get in the habit of start putting a little bit away each month towards them, so the savings goal doesn't feel too daunting. The next one is experiences. So this is the one where I basically put different things under the same banner, because I had one for theatre tickets, one for concerts. The list was going on, and I thought, I'm never going to be able to keep a track of this. So what I've done is I've got one for experiences. So I'll put money in there, and that'll cover things like theatre tickets, train tickets if I'm going anywhere for the experience, just things like that. And actually, I'm probably going to be putting maybe £200 a month in there, because it's the experiences which is eating up my emergency fund, because things crop up and I don't have the money set aside, so I end up eating into my emergency fund to cover them. I'm very much don't like deny myself kind of experiences if they don't come around all the time. So for example, if there's a musician who's on tour who I know doesn't tour often, if I have got the money to pay for a ticket for that, then I will go. That's really important to me in terms of what my rich life looks like. But I just need to budget for it and be a bit more disciplined, so that money doesn't come out my emergency fund. The next one is miscellaneous. So I think this is meant to be kind of a catch-all one for things like, I don't know, maybe I need to buy a new suit. Then it would go in miscellaneous, or maybe there's a new gadget that I need because I don't know, maybe my phone's smashed its screen and I want that repaired. So that's that is miscellaneous. Then got birthdays. So this is family and friends birthdays. Putting money regularly aside there. So in those months where there's multiple birthdays that I'm buying for, I've got money there. Christmas. So this is something that I've been really wanting to get better at, which is planning for Christmas and ahead. I normally keep a spreadsheet about how much I spend on Christmas presents, and I don't have any children, but I've got a lot of nieces and nephews, and I've got I buy for my parents and my auntie as well, and I normally spend between £500 to £700 on Christmas presents, which is a lot. And when it gets to December, that money always comes out my December pay. But what I want to do is I want to be saving maybe maybe £50 to £60 each month in advance, so that when I get to December, I got the money already there. I think my goal this Christmas will be spending just £500 for all the presents. I say presents, but I either get people experiences or I give them money. I'm very anti giving useless gifts. I don't like receiving useless gifts, and I don't like giving people useless gifts. So yeah. Then the next one is a new boiler. So we have our boiler service every year, and each year people come out, they always say, oh, it's not going to be long before you need a new boiler. So the boiler's working at the moment, but I want to have some money set aside so that we don't have a nasty shock if we need a boiler at short notice. I've then got charity. So it's important for me that I regularly build up money in a charity pot and then can contribute it to a charity of my choice. I donated at Christmas time some money to a local charity that supplies food parcels for people in need in the northeast, and that's I'm really passionate that everyone in the I think everyone in society should have access to food and shelter. I think that's really important, because we can't expect people to be thriving if they don't have access to food. So I've just started this pot, so there's only a £5 in it, but I am intending to build it up month on month, and then every time that I get, I think I paid maybe donated £40, or maybe £80 at Christmas time. Basically, I think £40 is the price of a kind of emergency food parcel that might be the essentials for a week. I can't remember the figures exactly, but that's what I donated the last time I did 2 lots of it. But the idea would be every time I get to that £40, I would, buy an emergency food parcel and donate it for the charity. The next one is the dentist. So, like many people, I haven't actually been to the dentist since the pandemic. So it is on my mind. I need to go back. I need to book to go back. And then something that I do want to have, which I had in the past, was like a teeth polish. It was actually using some airflow sort of technology where I don't really know the ins and outs, but they basically kind of blow kind of a sort of stain remover on your teeth, and then it makes your teeth look whiter. So it's not teeth whitening, it's more just getting rid of a lot of the sort of build up on the teeth. I think when I got it done last time, it was around £200, and this was about 8 years ago. So I don't know how much it is now, but I would be interested in getting that done again. But again, if I if I save up for it bit by bit, then it'll be a lot less of a shock when it comes out of a kind of monthly salary. And then the last thing that I'm saving up for is an allergy test. So this has been on my list for a while because I get really bad mouth ulcers, and I've been to the sort of hospital around them, and even though from my own kind of anecdotal experience, it seems to be when I eat chocolate, the hospital, they sort of inspected my mouth and so on, and they said it was just a random occurrence. So what I want to do is pay to have an allergy test, but like a sort of legitimate one, because I know there's a few that you see for cheap online, which I'm not sure it's the most scientific. So I do want to get a robust one just to see if it is chocolate that I'm allergic to, or if there is, sorry, I shouldn't say allergic, maybe it's an intolerance, if I've got an intolerance to chocolate, or if it's something else, maybe an ingredient that's in chocolate that's causing me to have really bad mouth ulcers. Because the problem is like, say Christmas time, I have kind of a few chocolates, and then my ulcers get bad on my tongue, and then I feel like I can't even speak because it hurts so much. Probably a bit too much information for you there, but if you suffer from mouth ulcers as well, then I do sympathise with you. Yeah, so these are my savings pots. I'm going to be regular. So someone also suggested to sort of do a budget with me video every month, so I could maybe keep a track of what I'm actually spending my money on, and as part of those videos I will be updating the channel on what's happening with my savings pots. Obviously some of these are quite fluid, so they're not always going to build up. Like, money will be taken out as well as being put in. So for example, the metro travel one, every time I go travel via metro, I'll be taking money out of that pot. So it's not always going to be building up, whereas my holidays pots, well, particularly Japan and Orlando, should be building up month on month, hopefully. And the plan with this would be, when money, so out of my meals, out of takeaway budget, if I spend the £100 that's in there, then I should be restricting myself and saying, no, I'm not going to spend any more money on meals out of takeaways. So yeah, I'll leave it there. Let us know in the comments down below if you're on a similar journey, and I'll see you on the next video.